Alright, fam, this is it. Are you ready for some intense action sequences? Or, as much action as the Cold Steel 2 engine can give you?
Oh, we're gonna actually get to see the operation.
You're writing a really huge check here, Artix. Can the game cash it for you?
Oh, absolutely not. This is so dumb. Like, seriously, just consider the scale of everything that's going on right now. Look at how tiny we are compared to the size of this entire battlefield, and that there are, even by the game's own admission, a couple dozen angels? But you know what? It's gonna try its hardest. We're gonna give it as much credit as we can.
Just show them shooting at stuff. Don't bother showing, them hitting anything.
One thing I don't think we ever mentioned is that it's way more believable that Aki could, fuck up an angel like this than almost anyone else. If by no other virtue than the fact that he has already, directly attacked us. Back in Chapter 4.
And absolutely just mopped the floor with us.
Yeah, that's true. I actually hadn't considered that.
It's way more plausible than, the game trying to tell us that Ryota is gonna turn the tide if we gave him a sword.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't believe that for a goddamn second. Then again, I would have also been incredulous if you told me that, June would have been this unstoppable badass that would have just completely turned the game on its side.
I mean, to be fair, the game doesn't really connect White Shroud and June in any way other than just telling you that that's who it is.
To its immense detriment, thanks again to Falcom's storytelling cowardice.
Yeah, you really could have tried to have some kind of meaningful connection between the two identities.
Yeah, as far as the game's concerned, if you look at the actual overall plot, White Shroud could have been literally anyone.
Could have fucking been Ryota for all we cared.
So, again, this is our master plan. We're gonna drive headfirst into the interdimensional apocalypse in a minivan.
An armored minivan.
Devil May Cry 5, this game ain't, unfortunately.
It's too bad none of our cast has any of the finesse that Nero has with fighting demons just while maneuvering around Nico's van.
I was gonna say, it's too bad that they don't have any of the finesse that Nico does driving that goddamn van.
Hey now, we haven't seen Mr. Goro driving yet. We don't know that for sure.
So, I'll leave it up to you to decide whether those charms are Sosuke's soul device or Toa's.
The game will never tell us, will they?
Oh, absolutely not.
Well, I mean, Toa was the only one in the fighting stance, so I'm assuming that was hers, but then again, Sosuke is so cool that, yeah, he could have just done that and just crossed his arms and been like, yes. I don't know who that is.
The blacksmith? Or bonesmith?
Oh, Mai? That's the other karate girl.
No, like, Chiaki's the only one that I can remember. Like, I see Miss Saki there, and, generic guy on the extreme far right.
What an incredible barrier. It doesn't even cover the back of the car.
It's okay, you don't need that tailpipe. A good thing that, like, no one's in the far back row there of the van, because, yeah, they would have been fucked because of Mitsuki's poor barrier coverage.
Actually, maybe that's why she, opted to only cover, like, the first, like, 4/5 of the car. Because she knew she could get away with it.
What?
Did the military show up, too?
You motherfucker.
Wow, he actually showed up with a fucking helicopter.
Not only did he show up, he ace combated it.
Yeah, he shows up in a helicopter with his fucking name all over it.
You know, Mikaria, in retrospect, if your plan for controlling a Grim Greed required the construction of an aircraft specifically to kill it just in case, maybe there were some flaws with that plan.
Look, the man is a master strategist. The dude's got every possible contingency covered.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's unreasonable to have a backup plan to, dispose of the thing you cannot control, if it ever came to that.
Also, if you could get a baller badass helicopter with your own name printed on it, basically for free as a part of your scheme, wouldn't you go all in on that too?
So how many times has that come up in your Ace Combat LPs, Crow?
What, someone showing up to a battle and basically like a customized version of like...
No, getting your own, like, personalized helicopter.
Helicopter, no. Your own personalized plane, tons of times, yeah.
Oh, is she gonna do Nero shit?
I mean, she's about the only one that I would buy at this point doing it. I've been giving this game shit on and off, like, mostly performatively, but I do really appreciate just the fact that, like, everything is finally coming together for this ending sequence. Like, they are just paying off shit left, right, and center, and it's been incredible. I gotta admit, I do really miss Aki's stupid pink hair.
Yeah, it's a little disappointing that he changed the look, but what are you gonna do?
Alright guys, the minivan has entered the tower. Let's go home, crack open a cold one, pat ourselves on the back for a job well done.
Yeah, you're not gonna, like, rush in there and, like, you know, provide backup with, like, all of your clearly competent people and, like, effective weaponry and your giant fucking attack helicopter.
Nope, our job's done here. Let's go home.
Meanwhile, Mikuri is up in the sky going, shit, I never learned how to land this thing.
It didn't even look like it had landing gear.
I think the plan was just to eject and parachute out.
So I love the aesthetic of this dungeon. In retrospect, something I did not realize the first time I played this game is that it is absolutely just ripping the fuck out of Trails of Azure, but that's another conversation to be had.
The game has suddenly been, like, T-boned by Final Fantasy X out of nowhere at, like, the last hour. Because, like, this area is, like, rocking some really big, like, Inside of Sin energy to it.
I mean, to be fair, that's basically what it is.
Admittedly, I have not played Final Fantasy X, so like the thing that came to mind first for me was Aerith Sea.
Yeah, there's also a bit of that in there, I suppose. Also, you should play Final Fantasy X, Argate. It's actually pretty damn good.
I have it on my Switch, I just haven't had the time to get around to it.
Says man who literally just had Satan reach into his head and go, knock knock, anybody home?
So yeah, here we go. Final Dungeon, Part 1, is broken into 4 towers. Each of them we will tackle in teams of 2. To the game's credit, the teams are actually split up pretty well. I think I'm gonna end up switching Asuka and Rion just because Mr. Goro needs a better babysitter, but other than that, like, this is actually a pretty good separation of teams.
Yeah, all these pairs, like, complement each other super well for the most part.
And of course they are conveniently all paired up in the canon couples. Or at least as close to canon as we can get. Although I see you're going to be putting your thumb on the scale with Rion, typical.
Me? Never.